We're talking Russia gold today. The country has gold reserves at the highest level in Putin's 18 years of power. Joining us now from Russia, from the World Cup, is Frank Holmes. Frank, thanks so much for joining us. You're not really there, but it looks good.
Privyet! Privyet!
And it really ties in with what I want to talk to you today about, Frank. Russia and gold. Has the country secretly been accumulating the metal? They upped their reserves by 1% in May. What could this mean?
I think it's everyone's focused on the World Cup today, and they're also focused on anything negative since Crimea has taken place. But every month, Russia continues to accumulate gold, just like China. And if you go back to the headlines, we talked about this several years ago, about China accumulating gold, and now you're seeing Russia going up to try to pivot to become number 2 and 3, these two countries. Why is that? Because there's a real movement, and it's very slow and gradual, not to trust the U.S. dollar and not to have the overreaching U.S. government is the way they look at it for global trade. How will it unravel? I do not know, but I do know that something is they all trust and they value is gold. As Warren Buffett says, price is one thing you pay, but value is something that's sustainable.
And what's interesting, Frank, is on the flip side, as they've been accumulating gold, they sold $48 billion worth of U.S. treasuries.
Correct. And so there's no doubt there's a rotation taking place in the global economy. And this thing on tariffs that Trump escalates now, it's slowly been creeping for the past 18 years from AML and prior to AML, all the rules and regulations. If you follow them, it's much more difficult on bank accounts globally. It's more and more difficult to move money globally. And it's interesting that the renminbi wants to become a reputable trading currency. Well, countries want gold as a backdrop, as a guarantee against the renminbi. And that's what they've been doing. So I think there is a change taking place.
All right, now looking to the gold as a whole here, Frank, what can we expect for the rest of the summer? It's had a tough start here so far. Can we expect more of the same?
Well, I think the biggest thing we have right now is real interest rates. The 2-year government bond is skyrocketed above the CPI. That makes the dollar strong. Even the fundamentals, just say support that. But I think it's temporary. I think a lot of big corporations are pushing back. The head of the Fed, Powell, has said that big companies are talking about exports are dropping. So we may be at this point where rates start to drop in the second half of the year. And I think that lends itself for that big gold rally. But let's really be honest about it. The QE unwinding in Europe is no doubt going to have an impact on the price of gold. And I think it's going to be positive.
All right, Frank, thanks so much for joining us. And thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.